America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Mayor Rader, Mike Engelman, Carol Rahill, Mark McAtee is absent, Buck Holland, Dave Smith, Attorney Stephen Tierball is not here, and Clerk Treasurer Lori Carrico is present.
Purpose of the meeting is to do a claim for the asphalt that was laid this past month and a half ago, Flynn and Sons. To the Community Crossings Grant, it's for $1,028,563.34, which we paid 25% of that amount. Need a motion to approve that claim so we can get them paid.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Coach? All in favor?
Aye.
Next item was we have a heat exchanger out on the furnace, so it's red tagged completely out. It's over in the annex building. And need to get that taken care of ASAP due to the fact that we've got cold weather coming in. It's a room that is used but cannot be used at this time. So need a motion to accept one of the bids here. Bo, you want to just bring that out real quick?
We contacted M&M Electric and Morrow Heating and Cooling. We have a service agreement with M&M Electric, so there's actually two quotes. When they gave me the initial one, I asked them where our 10% discount was for being on the service agreement, annual service agreement. So the one on top, I think you have for $3,348 for 80%, 120,000 BTU, or 95%, 120,000 BTUs, $4,036.50. It was real clear on Morrow's quote. They quoted a 96%, 100,000 for $3,500. 80% at 120,000 BTU for $4,026. I don't know how long it takes to get back the savings on a 95% versus an 80%. The room's not real big. I think it's less than an 80% furnace that's in there now. My recommendation would be to go with M&M Electric. $3,348 for the 80% efficient. Like I said, I don't know that much about it to be able to tell you how long it'd be to pay back that difference of $700. I don't know that much about it.
I'll make a motion, we go with M&M Electric.
On which one? The 80%? Okay. Got a motion? Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna go ahead and make a statement here. There's been a lot of mistruths again out on the internet, with, some things revolving around the Christmas tree. Actually, the Christmas tree's $55,000, but we got it for $38,500. They was gonna give us a 20% discount. I talked to them, they gave us a 30% discount. And, I know there's a lot of questions on there as far as if I have the authority or the authorization or whatever to do that. Yes, there's certain things that I do have that. And I can spend some money at some times. And, you know, I talked to a lot of people in the community. And, got a very, very positive response. I know the council wasn't happy with me, you know, straight up. But we've worked through that, and we're doing some things. We're trying to do economic development here. We have to invest in our community and do different things. And, you know, there was a comment made that I had an all expense paid trip to go to Florida. That's not correct. Didn't cost the city anything but fuel for my mileage. So no room board, no food whatsoever. You know, I drove my own truck down there, and time you pay fuel or mileage, it doesn't even come close to even nearly covering the expenses to operate a truck. But I'm willing to do that for the city because I care for the city. You know, there was a comment made about asphalt that I want, because I own an asphalt company. I don't own an asphalt company, I own a seal coating company, asphalt maintenance. I do not benefit anything from the asphalt being laid in this community or any other community. Not whatsoever. I'm here as mayor to work for the city and do what I feel is right, and also in collaboration with the council on a lot of things, but I can do some things outside of that. Past administrations have done that, nothing's ever been said. And it's frustrating to see that we have, I'm just gonna say it flat out, cave citizens against everything, or virtually everything. You know, we're trying to make a positive impact here for the community. And if everybody would work as well together to make it positive instead of saying stuff that's not true, we'd get a whole lot further along in the community here. I know some people aren't happy that we're in office, but we were elected to be in office. And we're doing what we feel is right. I mean, I can go back 20 years when we upgraded the water and sewer plants, okay? Got taken out or put out because of the high water and sewer rates. So today, 20-some years later, 21 years later, we're set up to take on everything that's happening in this community now. It's forward thinking. And we're doing the same with everything else we're doing here now. I mean, we bought how many more meters? 500 and some meters. We put that in place literally in 2003. We have over 1,500 services, and we only had 950 done 20 years later, because past administrations would not buy the stuff to do it. And it's cost us a lot more money than that now. You know, we paid $25,000 last year to get all the tree limbs and stuff removed from the industrial park. You know, we went out and bought a wood chipper this year, cost us $14,500. They wanted $19,500, he said they'd take $17,000, I said if we gave cash or a certified check, I'll make that clear, a certified check. We got it for $14,000. So you can go on the internet and buy that all day long for $19,500, that's $5,500 savings. On top of what it would be from the other $11,000 from hauling it off. And we're doing the best we can in what we're working with. It's like down here in the pavilion. We've cut out over $100,000 worth of work through contractors, and we do it ourselves. You know, you think we're out here just spending money. We're not. We're saving a lot of money at the same time. A lot of money. And we're doing a lot of stuff ourselves. And Bo knows. I mean, Bo's doing a great job. Our employees are doing a great job. And we are trying to save money wherever we can, but on the other hand, we still have to invest in this city. Yeah, trees expensive. You know, I know they bought a few trees in the past, I think 3 that they put up there, threw them away. The one downtown there right now, the root wad's out. It'd be lucky if it makes it through the winter because of freezing and thawing. It's exposed. You know, we're gonna try to cover it up and save it. But you know, vicious rumors and lies doesn't do us any good. We're not up here to hide anything. We're up here working to make the community better. And you can either be with us or not. That's the way I feel about it. I mean, I love this community. I'll do whatever I can for it. It's like whenever this pavilion's ready. I'll drive to Michigan with my truck and go pick up the materials, cause it's cheaper for me to drive up and do it than it is to have it shipped. They wanted $2,500 to ship this Christmas tree. I saved the city over $600 and some just by going down myself. I didn't charge any food, no rooms, nothing, just my mileage. But yet we have people in this community that wanna take and put out lies, saying that I got an all expense paid vacation. That's not the case. I'm very active in the community, I'm very active in my job here, even though it is a part-time job. And, you know, it's frustrating, because we're trying to do a lot of good up here, but we've got people constantly trying to tear us down. And that has not happened in past administrations, and I know there's a lot of things happened in past administrations no one ever knew about, that happened, nothing was said. So we can't have it both ways, you know, hypocrites, however you wanna look at it, that's just the way I feel.
Brian, there was a correction on the 3 trees. The city never paid a dime for those trees. Those were donated by a businessman.
Well, I was told differently,
Well,
okay?
whoever told you was wrong, because there was a businessman in town paid the full amount on every one of them.
Well, and I appreciate that, but I was told differently, okay, I put it out there, that's what I was told at that time. So, and I was told by several different people,
And
so
the
and
one-
I appreciate that,
And the one that's on the triangle, it was donation to.
okay? So, but I just wanna put that out there, cause, you know, we have some opportunities here, I mean, yeah, we're gonna do this Christmas tree lighting. You know, you go back to 2023, during Summerfest, we had 26 vendors. This year we had, I think, 52. First time out of the gate here with the Christmas tree lighting, we've got 20+ vendors. And we got the same, well, we got quite a few for the following weekend for the Christmas stroll. And we got a lot of things going on, a lot of positive things going on here for this time period. And,
I just don't know what we're supposed to believe, you know, you see all this stuff on the internet. and
well, when it's on Facebook,
I
you
don't
gotta
know what to
believe it, because it's
believe.
true, you know, that's what everybody's,
Yeah, But why did the city council, you guys were against it?
We was never informed about it.
And see, I think
There
that,
you go, neither are we, that's why we don't know what's going on. If you tell us up front what's going on, then we won't have to.
I talked to
wonder.
about 200 people on the tree, just out in the street and everything like that, and I'll be honest, I said something early on about buying a Christmas tree, and I won't repeat what was said or anything like that. You know, so, but I talked with a lot of, I've looked at this for over 2 months. And it goes back to, like I said earlier, I mean, there are some times that I can make a decision and do some stuff. Now, I was planning on taking it out of edit fund, because there's edit funds money which I can spend out of there.
no, I don't know what that is.
It's your economic development income tax. It's usually about 500,000 a year we get.
I wouldn't know,
Somewhere.
yeah.
I'm not 100% what it is, okay? But and there's some council members upset about that, I'll be very straight up. We found out that we can take it out of the ARPA money, and I know someone said something about a grant. Well, ARPA was free money from the government. I never say anything about a grant, or I don't recall about a grant on the interview. So, you know, the ARPA money's there, and we've got other plans for the money there too. We have $120,000 and maybe some change, I don't know. You told me 120,000. So, you know, we've got several things we gotta look at to use that money up by the end of the year, or have it under contract for 2025, or we lose it. If we don't spend it, we lose it. So,
Here's where I think we are. As Carol said, we weren't informed about the purchase. The mayor, and we've talked since then, I don't think that will be an issue moving forward.
I mean, I voted for these guys, you know, I voted for you, I voted for these guys, cause I thought, we're gonna have a good council.
and we do.
I don't want people to think that we were trying to hide anything. Don, you contact me a lot, and I've gotten back with you every time. Any citizens contacted me, I get back with. I'm not gonna hide anything. Was I one that was very upset with this purchase? Yeah, and Brian and I talked. Did he have the authority to spend the edit fund? That's where we have a disagreement. Council president talked to state board of accounts, they felt like it probably should have been approved by the council. That's neither here nor there at this point. The fact is, the tree's here, to avoid any type of litigation, anything else, we're gonna have to pay for it. And out of ARPA funds, I felt was better than using edit funds, that's my view. I think Mike agrees with that, I don't know about Carol or Buck. I do think the mayor thinks this is gonna enhance the Christmas stroll, the downtown, and those things, and it very well might. You know, I've had people that have talked to me and said, you know, maybe it's time we added some things down there. Now, of course, the cost, a little high, in my opinion. Cheaper than originally, I would have liked to have seen us maybe do it over a couple year period, phase it in, that's just me. But, you know, we have, you know, Mayor, we've talked, and I think really up until this point, I felt like the communication between the mayor's office and the council was pretty good. This was just one time, I don't think it was, and unfortunately, there's gonna be situations like that. I think it's been corrected. Money was taken out of the edit fund for next year, non-discretionary spending, so this would be an issue, would have been an issue anyway, I don't think, moving forward, but, that's just where I think we are. But I don't ever want anybody to think that I, or any of these guys up here, are trying to hide anything. That will never happen for me, and I don't believe these guys. In fact, we were gonna discuss the claims last meeting, then it was a back and forth between the citizens and the mayor, and at that point, I just felt like I needed to get some information, and Mike investigated some things, and we got that information we needed, so, you know, it's gonna go up, and let's hope it does bring economic, you know, opportunities downtown. I know Mike's talked to a couple of business people downtown that are excited about it. So, you know, we'll move forward from here with it, and that's what we have to do. But, you know, I'm out in the community a lot, I'm not too hard to find with this white hair, so just find me and I'll talk to you about, and Don will tell you, I mean, I'll talk, we need to talk for an hour, we'll talk for an hour, so. Because, you know, I know people mockingly online say transparency this, transparency that, we're doing our best to be as transparent as we can. So, and, you know, there'll be times you'll agree with us and times you may not, and we can talk, and we don't have to be like the national politicians and yell back and forth and all that stuff, we can sit down and talk as adults and work things out.
I think it would be better if a person had a complaint that they would come here instead of on.
Exactly.
Amen.
on Facebook. Yeah.
And it's frustrating because, you know, we gotta be careful what we say or how we react. And, you know, I have no problem being criticized, not whatsoever. I mean, I've been through this before and I've dealt with in a lot of other different places like that, but the bottom line is, you know, I love our community, I think our council members, everybody do too, we all live here, we've all been here our lives, and we're just trying to make some changes and do some things to where we can hopefully have people, I mean, you know, if we keep doing what we're doing, which has been nothing over the years, if we show people that we're being proactive and trying to make our community better, people are gonna say, hey, they're trying to do stuff, they're doing things, maybe we ought to check this place out. It may not happen tomorrow, not next week or a year, it could, but, you know, we don't know what the time frame is. Like I said, 21 years ago, when we did the upgrade in the water and sewer plant, here we are 21 years later, we can take on everybody that's wanting to hook on right now. We potentially have 50, 90, 100, and 30 to 40 places over the next few years that could easily tap on, and we don't have to increase anything other than a lift station up here by the school, because that was not figured in with the project for Country Court 5. And right now, as that stands, that's a $600,000 project, which was not, Bo brought it up, but it was not ever looked at or entertained. So it's something we do have down the road. But, you know, we're just looking from here, future what we have. I mean, we've got a lot of stuff going on at Crane. Hopefully we can bring a lot of people in to move into the area. So if we don't try and do something, then we're gonna be in the same boat we are. And honestly, all our Christmas stuff that we have, Bo, you wanna enlighten them?
36 years here, and I've been, not just myself, the staff, we're the wheels that turn, we're out here working on this stuff every day, it's like a broken down car. Hand-me-down stuff, artificial Christmas trees, the live trees were a good idea, but they last 2 weeks and they're down. This is something that's gonna hopefully last 20 years, or more if possible.
I just say just went totally overboard, though, really. This is, besides the tree being 38,000 plus, how much for decorations, how much for labor to put it up, how much for wood and, two boards you just set today. We need total of all of it, not just the cost of the tree, because we know there's more involved.
There is a lot more involved now. The labor down there today and a lot of the wood, was donated and free. Okay,
Were you gonna
I've
tell
got
us
it.
that, or were we just supposed to guess at that? See,
No.
that's the problem, we're not being told what's going on, so our minds are just wondering. So we need to be informed.
Well, and we're busy doing things and stuff like that too. I mean, I've got to decorate the tree on the triangle, I've contracted a local business person I know from Vincennes. It's got a piece of equipment up at the school I can get for free, so we can put lights on that, you know,
Okay,
we've got.
that person's name, please?
Steve Wolf Construction. You know, and the other thing I left out, I've already committed $1,000 of my own money to this tree. You know, and I didn't have to do that,
No, you didn't, pat on the back, thank
but
you,
that's what
Ryan.
but I
We've
believe
all
in this.
contributed to this city, so, but we're not honking our own
I
horns.
never
I'm
get
not.
$1,000.
I'm not talking
We said
about,
we
I'm just,
contributed.
Well,
I'm just portraying the fact that, certain people out here think that I'm taking advantage of the city and taking a free ride when I'm not. I give a lot back to this community and people have no idea.
as a citizen, I sit back and I look at all this stuff and I'm thinking to myself, why all the condemnation? You don't want a pat on the back, quit condemning these people for wanting to do better. Everybody has their own ideas, just because it doesn't match yours, we can still get along at the end of the day, don't condemn them.
It sounds like you're wanting economic development and tourism into town, but
We
it
are.
seems like, when it came to Loogootee Pride, you wanted nothing to do with that. We brought 350 plus people into town that day. To me, that was economic development right there.
We never said we wanted anything to do, we let you have your event downtown.
Fought me tooth and nail, and we're still
Well, what
fighting.
were you
tooth and
saying
nail.
about the decorations, the hand-me-downs and like the fixing them? You never did get to finish, I was
No, I
listening.
was interrupted.
What were you saying?
Just exactly what I was saying, that
Oh.
over all of the years, did I say something funny?
Yeah, because you said I was just talking about the decorations, and you went right back to said the same thing again, so, go ahead.
Well, let's
please.
let him speak.
We've worked with hand-me-downs, just used equipment over all of the years. Yes, we made small upgrades, buying new lights, because we had to, the ones we had when we went to put them up didn't work. I think some of the newest decorations that we got were Christmas banners that went on the streetlights. Outside of that, everything has been used, replaced, worked on, patched. So I don't think it's a bad idea myself. Is it a lot of money? Yeah, I kind of frown on that. Not my decision to make. I think it'll be wonderful when it's done.
And to answer your question, to be honest, we're probably looking around $54,000 to $53,000 time we're all done. And the other comment was like, well, can't that money, got people starving and stuff like that? City can't give money for food or anything like that. We have plenty of resources in the community with Salvation Army and the food banks and stuff that, no one should go hungry here. The city, city money can't be used for anything like that, so,
Improvements are being made continuously from previous administrations as well. This is one large hurdle, but I think it's a good thing for this entire community.
And, you know, going back to what I said earlier about bringing stuff up to grade and stuff like that, you know, we had all our 3 fire trucks. The, wheels on them or tires supposed to be replaced by law every 7 years. They've never been replaced. And they're a lot older than 7 years old. That's the kind of stuff that we've had to deal with up here. And not just on that, a lot of stuff. It's like our meters I was talking about now. Here we are 20 years later starting to replace all the transponders that are going bad on these automatic reads. And a lot of it just ends because nothing was kept up to par. I mean, we've had, how many things have we had to bring up to par? Just, all kinds of stuff.
We've got 4 utility trucks out here that are over 20 years old, still trying to maintain them on a daily basis, so that we can provide a service to the community.
And we gotta look at getting those replaced at some point.
They're costing more money than it would in the long run to replace them.
Anybody got anything else you wanna ask, or?
I've been talking to Mike about, you know, we had a problem with the speeding out there at Bloomfield Road. I think he talked to you about it. The, digital speed signs, Jasper has them, now Washington has them. You know, if you got extra money that needs to be spent by the end of the year, that could be something that could be put out there, Park Street, Boothville, you know, some of these streets that has a lot of traffic and a lot of
Yeah,
speed.
Mike called me about that the other day, and I said, we need to take a look at that.
Cause I was told they were gonna put one at North Line Street several years ago. I was told we had.
That
it
would
and
burn
everything.
out on North Line Street.
Huh?
That would burn out on North Line Street.
Yeah,
The way
Well, it was
Washington
about
has
3
it set
years
up-
ago, I got prices for all that stuff,
yeah, I mean,
and it was turned down by the council.
I was harassing Noel, you know, and sending those little granny with the hairdryer, because people fly when they get off a crane. They fly through, and I'm not saying everybody at crane speeds, but people are on their way home, or they're on their way to work, and I'm telling you what, they go by my house, and they're flying. And, you know, I try to watch my speed too, but I'm just saying, if you have those flashing lights that just remind people to slow it down.
It's got the speed
Well,
on
the
it.
Yeah.
speed that-
Yeah, that's all I was asking for, just something to remind them, cause that Ferdinand, I don't drive fast in Ferdinand.
Nobody
They've been a
does that.
speed trap for years,
Yeah.
they don't even have to have their police out anymore, because everybody knows they may be there. So if the time that the police came up and said, after I complained about people driving fast, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, nobody drives up North Line Street then. You know, so I just think, that would be a great thing to spend money on, just to get people to slow down in town and on the Bloomfield Road and North Line.
It's on the list.
The way Washington has it set up is pretty nice. They have it actually set up on the speed limit sign where it flashes.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
That's what we need to look at.
Yeah.
These standalone units are like $4,000.
I got prices on those a few years ago and said, you know, so they're not that.
Well, Chief Hunt's looking into it, cause we was talking about Bloomfield Road and a couple other, you know, we could get that money committed before the end of December.
Yeah.
On the ARPA side, and then we're looking at the Humane Society, possibly help there. I mean, they're restarting, as you know.
Southside Fire Station that needs to have the concrete pad replaced out there, cause it's all broke up and stuff, so.
So we wanna make sure we can get this money committed before we lose it. And I'm like Dave, I don't have as much heartburn about ARPA paying for the Christmas stuff, cause it's not coming out of edit, but we still have excess ARPA money that can use for these other things that are necessary and needed for the city.
And there's still $245,000 that in the edit fund this year that's not earmarked for anything. Okay, and I didn't know at the time, that's why I did edit fund, cause I didn't know at the time, the ARPA, we found out we had it, so we switched that around, to where it's coming out of the ARPA. And now the 245, there's 215, that's, well, it's easy to do this, there's 15,000 for consulting, and 15,000, I can't remember what it is, but then there's another 215,000 there that can be used at any discretion. So,
But it's gonna
With
be
council.
very, 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 strict guidelines and council approval, yeah.
well, we can still just,
Well, we're not,
disagree.
yeah.
Trent,
Do we
The-
need to
you
make
said the
policy?
2x4s were donated, the city gets to keep that to put it up again next year, right?
yes,
We make a motion.
yes.
And then you said the guy that was, your friend from Vincennes, what was he gonna do, help decorate it, or?
No, he's
They
gonna
do the bucket truck,
borrow a JLG lift.
and that's just to put like the decorations on,
If we need to put on the tree or anything else, yeah, got a couple days.
so Bo and you and everybody else gotta decorate the tree.
It's not gonna have any decoration, it's just gonna be lights this year. We may have, we got a lead on some, stuff we might be able to get free next year. Some nice, hand-me-downs, but still, it's still good.
What's the chances of you all wearing Santa hats when this happens? Just to add a little razzle dazzle to it.
Well, I have a Colts, Santa hat, maybe I wore that.
That
blue.
works.
Yeah, so, you have that.
So the metal frame and all that stays with the tree, all the
Yep.
wood that was donated
Yep.
from local businesses and people.
Clerical Contracting actually was donated the lumber. We had to go out and buy some today 'cause on the plywood and stuff, but all that stays together to be reused year after year. Or until it deteriorates and you gotta put new on.
And then we'll use some of our decorations that we already have and eventually get new ones, and the city will decorate it, and
The snowflake stuff.
Well, I'm gonna make a motion that on the remaining edit funds for this year, that none of it gets spent without prior council approval.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
I'll veto it.
Right there.
I know you did. Anything else?
I might add that we're all afraid of heights, so we're looking for volunteers.
I'm still wounded from when I fell off the ladder and the hedge trimmers caught me in the arm.
No.
So I'll come hold the extension
Yes.
cords.
What's your status on Oak Street Village? I see they got their money.
We were awarded the, tax credits. We have to get with the developers at a later date and start working out some contractual stuff in the contract, some language in there. So our attorney will have to work with theirs, and then we'll be interjecting some stuff as well, the council will, and
So are they actually buying city land? Is that the scoop?
yes. That 5.5 acres is $350,000. It will actually be sold to the Martin County Alliance, because the way these things are set up, they'll get the money, then that money will come back to the city. And that's all, it's gonna take a little bit of time to get all that done.
That's if all the agreements can be made on both sides.
Yeah.
We
Still
want,
things in the contract.
we want language in the contract that protects the city of Loogootee, and they've agreed to do it. So it's gotta be hammered out before we ever come to a vote on it.
Protects the city how?
Numerous ways. 15 years, they own this project for 15 years. So the developer himself, there's like, what happens to the developer during that 15 years, God forbid he would pass away, or something happens. We wanna make sure that the agreement that's in this contract, whoever takes it over, which I don't think that'd be a problem, is maintained by the same standard, that they have committed to us what they're gonna do down there, and manages property with property management oversight that protects the city from what we're all concerned about, if that makes sense without going into too much detail. There's been we've had 3 community meetings. The first one, nobody showed up. So we have 2 of them at the Methodist Church, one with the developer, then a follow-up just with us on a Saturday. We've given the community, I think, ample time to voice their concerns, questions, whatever, try to get all the questions answered. I know there's some people that's, you're never gonna change their minds. But I do believe the meeting with the developer did at least educate a lot of people on what this project really actually is. And it's not what everybody else is experiencing elsewhere. It's a 50-unit complex that's gonna serve the needs for housing in Loogootee and Martin County. And it'll have a daycare, it'll have a park, a pickleball court, a walking trail. They've gotten additional grant funding to build this. They're gonna develop that down there. It's gonna be really nice. I know other people said it'll take property values down. I don't believe that's the case. We've studied this for 6 months as a council. We feel like we have vetted this, Joe White from his development project and Travis. We feel like we have a pretty good feel. We want contract. We want language in this contract that protects the city. It is a $14.5 million project. A lot of ready money is being also in this. They sell the tax credits to help finance the project. So it is a need in this community. We're not going into this blindly. And we're not gonna turn Loogootee into one huge apartment complex either. We're not gonna see this all over the city, but it does satisfy a need currently, we believe. Yes, there's gonna be some issues with Bloomfield Road, but if we get some of these speed things set up out there, you know, there's other things. This is 2 years away from ever happening, to be honest.
You might be able to gain access to Brickyard Road as an alternate way out.
The other thing on that, what Mike said, was after 15 years, that's when the tax credits and stuff up. But whatever's in the contract is actually binding for 30 years. So at the end of 15, it's just not gonna be thrown out. So if it does change in ownership or whatever like that, it's still another 15 years that whatever's in there is binding. And we didn't know that until we had that meeting with the developer that one Saturday. They brought that up, which at that time we did not know. So it's good to know that whatever we get in there is binding for 30 years, not just 15.
And the other key component of that project, as he stated, home ownership is the goal for the people that get in there. They're gonna have resources on site for resume enhancement, financial counseling, different things. He's already contacted some partnership organizations. So it won't be, you know, what the stigma is they like to attach to that income group. It's 19 to 54,000. I don't call it low income myself. I call it median working family. You have to have a job. Single, 2 and 3 bedroom apartments is what we're looking at. You know,
Well, the city needs housing, the school needs kids. I mean, you look around, we're one of the lowest populated school district and schools in the area. You need housing, you need people, families.
I would be a lot more nervous about it if it was a 200 unit complex. I would probably never go for something like that, but I think 50 is a good number for Martin County, Loogootee. You get into these 200 units, then all bets are off what you might end up with. So 50 is very manageable. I just think, you know, as it stands now, it's gonna be a good thing, unless we don't get the language we want in the contract.
And I'll say this, we did have one developer that Mike and I sat down and talked with, and I'll be straight up, they offered us $600,000 for that property. And they sent some stuff and I just never responded, cause I'm like, if they can offer up $600,000 without even talking just one time, that's not gonna be good for the city. Cause that would call, I think the management side of that would have been, really bad, and we probably would have some issues, more than likely. I tried to squeeze a little bit more out of this one we're at with, who we're with, but they're pretty, you know, 350 was the max they'd go. And for 5.5 acres, that's pretty good money for Martin County.
All 50 units are income based.
Yep.
Yes.
Anything else? You want to entertain a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second. All in favor? Thanks for coming out, everybody, and have a happy Thanksgiving.